Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today I have this display cabinet, and if you can kind of see behind me, I have two other boxes. So it's basically the same cabinet. You can put them like as a single, double, triple, go on and so forth. So I'm only going to put one together today because it's basically kind of like rinse repeat for the other ones. But once I have all three set up, I will give you a good view of what they look like at my daughter's house. So we'll be transferring this, but let me get together, put this one up, and I'll show you how it's done. And I'll show you how easy it is. This box is a little on the heavy side. I was able to manage it myself, but I would probably recommend like two people, especially if you're getting like 2 or 3 of these put together all at once. And it came very well packed. Let me just kind of get this box open on either side. So, as a box, it says do not cut open with a knife. However, I just did that. So let's put this over here. And I think I'm actually going to cut this box away very carefully. And I'm going to keep taking a peek at it and make sure I'm not going to be hurting anything. Okay. So I spin that around. So usually when you have this much styrofoam and you try to dump it out of the box, that usually doesn't happen too smoothly. However, in this case, we just sawed through it, and it's pretty well protected, but again, be very careful if you are using a knife opening this. And there are a lot of styrofoam pieces and a lot of loose pieces. Let me just put them down. Looks like this might be the leg system. Some more foam. And more foam, and some more foam. So, to say the least, it comes very well packed. Let me get this a little bit closer to the edge so I can get all the pieces out. And so far, I do not. Oh, okay. So, it has a little number 5 here, so it looks like the pieces will be labeled as we go through them. Okay, and again, I just want to get them out of the box so we can put this one together. Okay, I am going to be putting gloves on just because I feel some edges on here, so I want to keep myself protected. And I think it's fine, but since I'm always working my hands, I try to go the extra mile and make sure I take care of them. Okay. There seems like there are a lot of pieces in here. Okay, and then that's going to be your cardboard back, and then this is your hardware kit. So I'll put this box out of the way. Okay, so let's open this hardware kit up, and we'll get the directions, hopefully are in there. And we'll move some of the non-priority pieces out of the way. Okay, so nice hardware kit. And here are the instructions. I left them in the box. So thank goodness, because trying to do this without instructions would be a little bit on the difficult side. Okay. So it looks like you get individual parts bags. It looks like they're all labeled. So that's pretty good. And that's the assembly instructions. I'll bring that to you. Okay, so here are the instructions. Your parts list, how the pieces go together, and it tells you on each page what parts you actually need. 11 steps, so not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to use a little parts stand to lay everything out. So that's F, those are your drawer pulls. P is your cabinet pulls. That's G, L, and E. Q, J, and O. H and I. A and B. Put them up here. D and K. So it's kind of, I'll give you some spare screws, that's good. And part C, A, B, C. So it's kind of in alphabetical order. We'll go through as we get it. Okay, so I need parts 1, which more than likely is going to be at the bottom of this pile, from what I can see already. We're going to get some of these pieces out of our way, but with all the parts facing up so I can read them carefully. That's your 3. Oh, part 1. So this is what it kind of looks like. I worked the reflection of my light to kind of get that set up correctly. And this is going to be part 6. And again, I'm going to lay these under here so it's easy for me to get to. Okay. Those are the legs. That's part 4. We'll kind of leave that over there. Okay, so part A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. One, two, three, four, 5. Leave part B over here out of the way for now. So it looks like, I'll show you after I put them in, but it looks like separated on each one of these. And then on the top section here, it's going to be on the right side here. And then again on these top sections here. So middle bolt will be exposed. And again, get my ratcheting screwdriver ready. Then it needs 2 J's and a K. So this is part K is going to be the magnet part that closes. And there's 2 little holes, barely able to see those, but they are there. And then 2 J's. Okay, so there we go. And again, I'll hold this up for you to see once I get it put together. Magnet, so I'm going to kind of leave that on the looser side just until we get this together, and you'll see. Okay, so lifting it up, so work the magic of the light, but basically you have these two here, two empty holes, then this one looking at me, that's going to be on my right side, and then that one's going to be empty on that. So I'll kind of give you that. So we need a step. On this next part, we need part C, which are basically these little wooden dowels. And it looks like they are going to fit into all the open spots next to the screws. So pretty easy. We'll put that one in there, that one there, that one on that piece, there, and then there. And then it wants us to put this sideways. So put that sideways a bit. And then we're looking for part 2 and 3. So let's lay that down until we get one of the parts in place. Make some more room on my studio desk. Okay, so this is part 3, which will go on this side. So basically we're kind of slipping that together. Hold that together. Make some more room on my desk. All right, so part 2, that's how it looks. We flip it around like that. And then this is going to be part 4. So, and you're going to have that hole facing up and out like this, but we're going to hold off on putting that because there is a frame piece that we have to put in, but we're going to put these little turn buttons in here to basically tighten up these legs. So they basically kind of go in, and you're going to align them, and you'll feel it goes in nice and easy. And then we'll put one down here at the bottom, same way. The C part kind of faces up, and you'll understand that more once we get there. And then that basically closes down on that. Okay, and you'll kind of feel that slip into place. Let me put these 2 in on this side. Okay, and it wants this piece in. But I'm going to refrain from putting that in because that looks like it's going to be very unstable, even though the directions say otherwise. And then we're going to slide in this cardboard piece, part 7. So see how that is folded together like that? And we are going to slide this in. Black, obviously, facing on the inside. Okay, that was a little tricky, gotta be honest with you. So now I think we can probably put this part in. As long as that holds rather well. Put that button in there. Okay. And just basically this piece right here, marked 6, so that's pretty easy. And it wants the rest of the C's in the middle. the middle holes, which you'll be able to see and feel. Easy to see. Then we're going to be getting part D, which is going to be the last remaining parts in this part of the cabinet. So we're going to be putting the back up and lining everything up. I think the easiest way to do this is I'm going to turn this up, kind of facing you, so you can kind of see how this is kind of on a little flimsier side until we get it assembled. So just so you can kind of see that. And I'm going to use a trick. Not included, but I'm going to use a black bungee cord to hold these sides in. Just so it kind of holds that a little bit more rigid. So if you have a bungee cord, great. If you don't, I'd probably recommend getting one just for this part. So now we're going to lay this in on top. And then everything should kind of line up better. And that cardboard piece on the back, we are going to kind of spot that by going to push that out. I'm going to hold this down and push this cardboard out, and it should kind of fall into place. Okay, I think that kind of fell into place. So next we can put these screws down. So I'm going to place them in all the holes. So that was step 4. Moving on to step 5, which is going to be the base. So you need the 2 R's. And then the 2 S's, frame. All right, so you obviously want these holes facing up. And then you put the Allen keys together, slide them through, and connect the pieces. I'll show you once I have it kind of tightened down, but so far so good, easy. Okay, so your frame should look like that. Those are where the screws went to, bolts rather. And I assume it's going to go up here like this. Okay, it looks like there are some holes underneath this. Looks like everything lines up. And that's going to be part G. So put those up there. And we'll put one here. Kind of get that to line up with the first hole. You'll kind of see the hole there. I'm going to slightly get that started. Okay, next, cabinet doors and shelves. So let's flip this around, put it on its feet. Okay, next you're grabbing the doors. Pretty easy to spot. So it has those hinge points on it. So we're going to be looking for the hinges. So they kind of sit down there like this. And we're looking for Q. All these little bolts right here. Okay. Q on this side. All right, then you have I, which is the magnetic piece to the door. So you're gonna have to decide which is gonna be your top, which is gonna be your bottom. They're kind of interchangeable. So I'm gonna use this top corner here. All right, so kind of give you an idea. Upside down. So that is where your magnet's going to go. That's where your hinges. And then next are going to be the handles. There. This door is complete. Handle, hinges, and then you got your magnet over there. Okay, so next we're going to need Q, and that will be the rest of the screws mounting that door in place. And there's really no trick other than getting the one screw to kind of bite. Then you get the bottom one lined up. Okay, so with just a couple teeth in place, you want to line these up. What I've done in the past is I usually take the manual and I'll put it here, and that'll kind of give you enough room the kind of gauge where you have to have that screwed in right. Okay, so that should give you enough room. And I will raise this one up about into the middle and then tighten that down and hold that in place. Tighten this top one. All right, take that out, and that gives you enough clearance. Okay, so put the last 2 screws in to support the door completely. One more adjustment, so that's good. And I think we are going to finish mounting this in place. That seems like that's in a good position. Okay. Next, we'll mount this door. And again, using the directions, and I think we'll put that closer to the edge here. Now it'll give us a good starting point. Okay, so the doors are nice and lined up, or kind of, pretty close. So we'll keep it like that. Last but not least, and then you have these little anchors here. So we're gonna put it right in the middle, I think is gonna be best suited for our needs. Then we'll slide this in at an angle. All right, so that was tighter than I thought it was going to be. This piece in here. Now we can put these supports in. All right, so that's how they are. Flip them up. I think I had them pointing down in the video, but we're gonna face them up so they sit more square. But yeah, so that's your cabinet, and that's basically everything.